Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So very interesting setup at the moment on the 8-hour. Firstly, this flag has broken. Obviously, I'd love to see a retest of that. I don't know if that's going to happen because we do have a inverse head and shoulders set up here. So this is the line in the sand that we need to be paying attention to, and that is 13,375. So we start finding support above that. We have a fairly interesting setup, and the first area of interest is going to be this gap at 13,800. So I just want to drop to go up to the weekly chart quickly, and you can see tweezer bottom and second confirmation bar of that tweezer bottom. That is looking fairly good. I just want to get this diagonal in. That's going to, that diagonal first has broken. So remember, that was the first two fractals, and with that always gives you the trend line. That's a trend line there, and you can see this week we have got a fairly strong break above that. Now I'm going to move it to that one because that's the next level. We're quite far away from it. So this area is definitely your take profit area, 13,800. Anyway, let's get down to some levels that we can trade today. A pretty strong break yesterday, up. Didn't break through all of them. Let's just get that. You can see there, you can argue that that is now top of range. So what I'd be looking for, just going to line these levels up. So this area here is first 13,337. Need to pay attention to that. Oscillators are grouped to the upside, which is a little bit worrying on the higher time frame. So I don't want to be tracing longs aggressively. But pullback here to 13,261 is another area of interest. Moving averages pointing up, and they are bullish. So the trend is up. If you look at the hour, yeah, I think this area is going to be of a lot of interest at the moment. There are, looks like there's a gap. It looks like there's two gaps. Have a look at that on the lower time frame. There's definitely one down there, but we're very far from the moving averages at the moment. So looking for a pullback. Remember, V reversals are rare, so this looks like a V reversal at the moment, but doubt that. I'd like to see a pullback into an area of structure, and 13,261 is the preferred area, but we need to watch 13,337 to see what happens there. Let's just drop to the 15 minutes so we can see firstly yesterday's scenario. You can see we dropped below the level there, then we got a pin bar on it in amongst the moving averages all over the place, and then a break of the moving averages, pullback, engulfing bar here. So there was one or two areas where you could have jumped in here, but that's very late in the session. It's basically better off, it's almost in the US session, and then you're better off just getting onto the US markets because the structure will be a little bit better. This is definitely the area we need to pay attention to. So there is that area, and I'm going to use this level. Okay, had some comments on gaps yesterday. So first things first, there's a gap there. That candle closed 13,157, and this candle opened at 13,158. So that's a 1-point gap right there. And there's another one here. Closed at 13,215. And I don't know why that pop-up doesn't work, but close at open, what we're looking for, opening at 13,216. So that's a 1-point gap there as well. And there's another one here. So there's gap, there's a gap, there's a gap. So there's quite a few gaps moving up. I don't see anything here, but there's definitely gaps in this area. So at the moment, what you're looking at is a pullback onto structure. The gaps could act as a magnet, and it would make sense because that would come and test the 155 here on the 15 minute. I don't think it's going to happen looking at the oscillators at the moment. I think these are the two areas you need to pay attention to. So for market open, it's 13,337 and 13,300. See if you can get some bullish price action there, and then you're looking to jump in long on that structure. So entry above your structure, stop below. It's a really tight stop loss, so you can put a chunky position on that you're prepared to lose, and get a really decent return, basically. So that's kind of my view at the moment. This is could be a range. Not gonna lie. It could turn out to be a range. In other words, just drop all the way through these things and come back down to the bottom. But I'm bargaining. I mean, this was a pretty solid trend line here and at the bottom trend line. So I'm bargaining that we're probably going to see some kind of price action in this zone. And you can see we're already eased off the top here on the hour with the oscillators. So what we'd like to see over the next, what's it now, top of 6. So the next sort of, what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, should we say, it'll give more than enough time for these oscillators to ease off and then start moving back the upside. So that's kind of the view I've got. It does look like the markets are liking what the Federal Reserve said, and they are starting to just load up on their positions, and I think that's pretty much what we're seeing. Anyway, hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Cheers for now.